Good blessed Tuesday night, July the 27th, 2021. It's about 9:32, 52 p.m. I'm getting a little old and tired, but not too tired to stay on the mission that God gave me. But I greet all human beings tonight with a universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor what your religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't even matter whether you are the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter if you're black or white or any race or nationality. It doesn't matter whether you like me or dislike me. It doesn't matter whether you like my YouTube videos or anything that I put on social internet. You have a right, that's your prerogative, to like or dislike. But I don't make videos and I don't get on social media looking for likes or dislikes. I try to awaken the people who's not aware of certain situations that's been going on in certain areas, especially sometime within your own community. Today, it's July is a heck of a month for me. July the 2nd was my mother's birthday. She would have been 91. God took her away in 1989 at the age of 59. My oldest brother, he would have been 64. His was July the 19th. My second oldest daughter that's down here with me turned 16 on July the 19th. My youngest daughter down here with me on the 26th of July, she turned 15. I almost forgot. But also on July the 27th of 2000, and I believe, was it 19? 2 years ago, my youngest granddaughter was 12. She would have been in 13 in November, but she was 12 years old when she was standing in front of her own house, letting her dog out to walk. And some coward, not a white police, not a white supremacist, but some coward black decided to shoot towards her house, shooting my granddaughter twice. I thank God that she survived. She got shot in the arm and she got shot in the leg. That was 2 years ago. But 2 years ago, today, she was chosen amongst hundreds and thousands of black children that have been getting shot and killed in Chicago, Illinois. She was chosen among those hundreds and thousands to go to Washington, D.C. to tell her story. She was able to go there today and was in the White House. Something happened, but she will be interviewed anyway. But this is something today also in the White House for Washington, D.C. Capitol Police. I think one of them was Spanish, one was black, and I believe two was black and two was white. But I think there might have been four of them. But they testified today at the Capitol, speaking about what some people in this country that claim this flag represent all of us, and you wondering why some blacks turn their heads, some bow down, some don't even respect this flag. This is my dad's flag. He was a World War II veteran fighting against one of the most racist individuals that ever lived, Adolf Hitler. It was racism before he went in, and it was racism while he was inside, and it was racism until he died. God called him home January the 30th, 2021, right here in my house when I was holding his hand. But remember this flag, y'all, that some of y'all feel disrespected when some blacks, young and old, turn their head. Some blacks hold up a fist. But on January the 6th, Wednesday, January the 6th, 2021, there was a lot of individuals, 99.99%, I think they said it might have been a couple of blacks, but 99.99% whites went to try to break into the Capitol because they didn't want to recognize or accept the fact that Donald Trump lost the presidential election. Now, amongst those people that was trying to break in, it was a white female who was killed trying to break in, a 19-year veteran in the Air Force. She didn't see this flag as being for everybody if she was trying to break in. You had some state troopers. You even had some Capitol Police. You had some National Guardsmen. You had some senators. One of the senators here in the state of Missouri, Josh Hawley, used to be the Missouri State Attorney General now, holding his fist up like this here. Power to them people, y'all. But them Capitol Police testified today and they was in tears, telling how they thought that they was going to lose their life. But yet, some of y'all said this flag represent everybody. This flag don't represent everybody. This flag don't represent me and my children. Let me tell you why. Just like they in tears and they having that hearing. You know why they having that hearing? They having that hearing because you have you got, I believe, 435 lower house representatives. And I believe you have 100 senators. And all of them don't think some of them don't think nothing went wrong or it was a normal day in Washington, D.C. in the White House on Wednesday, January the 6th, 2021. When them individuals that was trying to break in, all of them should have been shot dead. Some of y'all said that's cruel. If there was a bunch of blacks going in there, and I don't care who don't like it, if there was a bunch of blacks breaking into that place like that, you can believe they would have been shot down and killed. If they making U-turns in front of there, you see what I'm saying? Or running, they thinking somebody finna run them over with a car and they getting shot down and killed. These people was beating up police, smashing them in the doors, taking their helmets, beating them in the head. But again, some of y'all say this flag represent everybody in the United States. It don't. Because if it did, we wouldn't even have to have that hearing. Them police wouldn't have to be on Capitol Hill crying, telling their story about what happened to them when it was all on camera. It reminded me when Rodney King was beat by those racist police in 1992 in in Los Angeles. It was all on video. But that jury, that go to show you they don't represent us. When I say us, black people, it represents some black people. Black people like these NAACP leaders that don't stand up against injustice, like the ones here in Charleston, Missouri, and Carbondale, Illinois. I'm finna get to a point. I feel the same way them officers felt that was testifying today when it's been 130 days since my son, Bryan Lamar Johns, a 34 45-year-old black man was found hung in Carbondale, Illinois, in the hallway of the Gaslight Apartments in the 400 block of Oakland Street. 130 days. But that Southern newspaper, the Southern out of Carbondale, they don't believe in this flag. They don't believe in all black people. Now they might represent the sellout black people that call themselves leaders in Carbondale. They might represent them, but they don't represent black people that speak their mind, black people that exercise their First and 14th Amendment right. When you go around marching, talking about Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, you see what I'm saying? When you march around and saying that, knowing that's all you're going to do is march and make a lot of noise and that's it. Talking about no justice, no peace, no racist police. But they're still racist, especially in Carbondale, and I know they is in Charleston, Missouri. But let me tell you, 130 days, just like in the Capitol, them police shouldn't have to be up there telling their story again. It's all on camera. I shouldn't keep on having to tell my story. They tried to classify my son's death as a suicide. To show you the Jackson County, Illinois coroner in the Carbondale Police Department, they ain't on one accord. Because on June the 23rd, 2021, the Jackson County, Illinois coroner classified and certified my son's death as a suicide, and the contributing causes was abuse, methamphetamine abuse. So if that's the case, why is they still call this a death investigation? And why ain't it in the news? See, my granddaughter was going to Washington to tell about how black children, who they're supposed to represent, afraid to come out their houses. Those of y'all that keep on saying Barack Obama and Michelle Obama is heroes for the blacks, they are hero for those of y'all that's sellouts. Because, let me tell you something. Obama said his two daughters is suffering from post-traumatic syndrome because they are being guarded by the CIA. My granddaughter would have loved to be guarded by the CIA, and she wouldn't have got shot 2 times. Them ignorant Negroes that's out there that shot her, they would have either been dead or locked up. But again, this representing some black folks, but it ain't representing us. You see, my son can't even get the newspaper to print his story. My son can't even get the NAACP in Carbondale. I spoke to the president personally on the phone the same day I came down there, March the 24th, 2021. And told her what was going on, that I didn't think my son committed suicide. Instead of her calling her chapter, her national chapter, she called the same people that I don't trust. She called the police. Then the criminal department tell me that she talked to the chief of police and the state's attorney, and when they get through investigating, the Illinois State Police and Carbondale Police get through investigating, she talked to him by herself. She didn't come get me. She didn't call me. I don't know what she talked to them about, because they don't even call me. But they call the police. They won't even tell the public that it's a death investigation going on, a black homeless man who was addicted to drugs, that a white school teacher in the Carbondale, Illinois high school was spending his food stamps. Let me tell y'all for how long. Since June of last year, all the way up to April the 29th, 2021, and he was dead 39 days already. Y'all could be able to figure it out. Ask the Carbondale, Illinois NAACP president who it is. Ask her who is her and her husband is. Ask him how many more people that's homeless and living in them homeless shelters and living in the warming centers that this same school teacher and her husband got their food stamp cards. But guess what she teaching? Parent. She's a parent educator. Oh, that's right. This represent us. It don't represent them police and they was Spanish, white, and black. It don't represent them. Trump said it was a normal day. Josh Hawley seen it was a normal day. Some of these other people see it as a normal day. But those people like us that's trying to get justice for our children, trying to get these ignorant blacks that's out there studying killing each other. You see what I'm saying? Those that said it's Black Lives Matter, just last weekend in Chicago alone, over 70 people were shot. A few of them killed. But during this whole month, you probably ain't got a good 1,000 people shot. Where's your marches? People like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Michael Flavoring, that some of y'all worship these people. Michael Flavoring got people marching with a big cross. You think he care about them people? All he want to do is stay at that church where he at, representing those blacks. I called they place on June the 9th, 2021, a day before we came up to Chicago and went to the cemetery for Father's Day. We stayed up there to the 21st to stay up there to go to the cemetery to visit my son's gravesite, who was lynched in Carbondale. I told them I was coming up. They said they'd call me the next day on the 10th. The 10th of June now. But this is July the 27th. They ain't called yet. Do you think Father Flavor care about them people dying out there? If he was an activist like he said when he went on the expressway to Dan Ryan to protest, he wouldn't have been standing hand in hand calling the superintendent of police and calling the news media, and then they tell him where he can go and where he can't go. Real marches, you can't tell them where they can't go and where they can go. They're going to go where they want to go, like me and my daughters do in Carbondale, Illinois. A few people that claimed to say they went to the university in Carbondale said that they was activists. They are actors, but saying how they wanted to be on my son, the page that I created for my son, Justice for Bryan. I put them on there, and I look at their pages. It's full of jokes. They ain't trying to spread nothing. Just like the individual that saves my son's friend when he contacted me a day after his wife was caught spending my son's food stamps. He wasn't my son's friend. He was my son's friend when my son was living and when he was dead, until they seen my YouTube video talking about where is all of his cards, his IDs, and anything else he had. But let me tell y'all this. I'm saying this here today because when I looked at this hearing, it hurt me. When my youngest granddaughter went to Washington to try to represent the blacks that fear for their lives in Chicago, not like the NAACP, they satisfied. All you got to do is look at the NAACP in Carbondale and in Charleston, Missouri. You will see them in the newspaper and on these other talk shows talking about everything but my son's death. Now, if they was real leaders, they'll be like the one black man in Carbondale, Illinois, that studies sending emails to the Attorney General, to the governor, to the Washington Bureau of the NAACP, to the City Hall, and he asking for a Freedom of Information Act Just like a female in Kentucky, the same way. People that I never met before. But yet you individuals as leaders in Carbondale, y'all won't even put it in the paper telling people it's a death investigation going on in Carbondale. Been going on for 120-something days that a man was found hung, a black man found lynched 130 days ago. And people that's joining my group or looking in some of the groups that I'm in, they just not knowing about it. You know why? Because the NAACP, you know, they went to SIU. So they got something to lose. But here it is, they call themselves doctors. They got these doctorate degrees, and they call themselves teachers. But here it is, a white teacher been spending my son food stamp. Why that ain't in the newspaper? You know why? As school teacher, this represent her. This represent the NAACP in Carbondale. This represent the police. This represent white supremacists. This do not represent blacks that stand up for their rights. I don't care who say it does. It don't. It don't. If it did, them police wouldn't have to be testifying in Washington, D.C. My granddaughter who got shot, she wouldn't have to be going to Washington, D.C. Do you think them people in Washington, D.C. care about my granddaughter getting shot or any of these other blacks getting killed? No. Do you think any of them leaders, if you was a real leader in Carbondale, Illinois, you'd be doing the same thing that one black man doing. The Carbondale, Illinois NAACP don't like what he doing. They say he files about everything. At least he seen my son to be something. But I'm going to leave with this here, y'all. Those of y'all that's not a part of any of them groups, this police department in Carbondale, Illinois, do you think that they care about my son? I know they don't. I believe they have a part of it. But all you have to do is just watch and see as I watch and pray. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Track down that girl that found my son clothes. Watch and see who she around. Track down that girl that found my son wallet and now all of a sudden it come up missing. Track down that Sergeant Draper, Guy Draper, who he's around everywhere where my son is at. But I'm going to tell you, Carbondale Police Department, Jackson County Coroner's Office, Carbondale NAACP, and all you other actors that call yourself activists, I don't care if you don't like what I'm saying. My son is dead, and the paper won't print it, but they'll print y'all marching with your bullhorns talking about no justice, no peace, no racist police. Defund the police. They need to defund the NAACP. They need to defund them churches in Carbondale, Illinois. One thing about churches when I came up, they breeded people like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. If Martin Luther King and Malcolm X was alive today, I bet you they'll be on the front line with me and my two daughters in Carbondale. But that go to show you, all you got to do is look up the NAACP members, look on their Facebook page, and see how many times they done mentioned Bryan Lamar Johns being found lynched 130 days ago. Ask them why they ain't asking the community for help to see if they know anything about it, especially since it's supposed to have been an alleged death investigation for over 120-something days. You know why they ain't doing it? Because they don't care. This represent them. It don't represent me. I'm proud to be in this country. I was born in this country. But this don't represent me. When it start representing me, let me know. If I wanted to, I can burn it, but I ain't because my daddy earned it. You see what I'm saying? My daddy earned it. Don't look at these people when they call themselves doctors, call themselves presidents and members of the NAACP. One thing about the Ku Klux Klan, I give it to them, they sticking with what Donald Trump and them other racists did on Wednesday, January the 6th, 2021. The NAACP, y'all making Thurgood Marshall turn over in his grave. Y'all making Harriet Tubman want to get back up and do y'all like some of them, they did some of them slave masters. That's what y'all is. Y'all worse than slave masters. People looking at you black, looking at you got doctorate degrees, looking at you went to this university in Carbondale. You don't care about them black people, because if you did, I've been to 2 marches in Carbondale. One on the 22nd, the Breonna Taylor little get together. I didn't see no NAACP members. I went to a march on the 25th of May, and I didn't see no NAACP members. But I seen black individuals marching. I believe it was on the 22nd of May 2021. Black individuals in Carbondale, Illinois, marching with the Palestinians because the Israelis was attacking them. They were securing these Palestinians and marching with them. And they know about what happened to my son, but they ain't marching every time. Some of them call me and tell me that Sergeant Guy Draper told them that my son's case was closed and my son got what he had coming because he was a criminal. Just like you called and told me what Sergeant Guy Draper told you, tell the other people. Make it be known. Make it be public. You can march. Y'all can march with these Palestinians. I ain't got nothing against them, but I bet you they ain't going to march for my son. I bet you they ain't going to march if some other black get killed. Peace be still.